sometimes you get the title and the pay and the power and the influence.
Mm.
And it's easy to get intoxicated on the title and the power, and you lose your way.
Sure.
That's happened to me a couple of times in my career.
Okay.
And my mentors were very critical and very key in helping get me back on track.
Okay.
Asking me tough questions, giving me tough feedback, and and holding me accountable, so that I was able to get back to leading with purpose.
Welcome to Extraordinary. I'm your host, Forbes Shannon. With me, as always,
Christine Butler.
And today in studio, we have an awesome guest, maybe the most connected man in the Valley here. He is a healthcare professional. Oh, well, you know what? I'm not going to pigeonhole you because you got a bunch of different lanes that you're running. He transforms businesses and lives and communities with purpose-driven leadership. Please help me welcome Tomas Leon.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here, man. Yeah,
awesome.
We go way back. And actually, I wanted to start with Tomas has a new hobby, everybody. And he is dabbling into stand-up comedy.
That's right.
When I hear that, I go, okay, for most of the time.
Right.
But you actually had a good joke, and I would love for you to tell it.
Well, it all started with my kids. I'm always doing these dad jokes.
Yeah.
And so, I'm telling my kids, hey, be what you want to be and go take risk and do these things. So they've been pushing me to do stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, Dad, you tell us to take risks. We want to see you go do it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I've been developing some materials, trying to turn my dad jokes into real jokes, But, one of the ones that I've been working on, the other day I was having a deep conversation with my wife. And I told her, she was, thinking about some challenges she was having and mistakes that she had made over her life and kind of what's next. We're getting close to being empty nesters.
Yeah.
And I told her, you know what, you really need to embrace your mistakes. So she stared at me, looked me deeply in my eyes, and she gave me a big hug.
Embracing her mistake.
Come on. So turn that into a joke.
Yeah, I love it. Well, that's the number one thing about comedy, right? Is there's always gold in those little moments where you're like, okay, this is funny for so many different reasons. And Tomas, you've been really focused on so many different sectors throughout your career, and now you're kind of expanding to doing a broader approach of how you can help leaders and businesses and communities at large. Can you tell us a little bit about where you're at right now, and then we'll kind of unpack how we got here?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've had a incredibly blessed and fortunate life, starting with humble beginnings, and we can touch on a little bit about that because it tells you about who I am and what I'm about and why I'm doing what I'm doing today. And so I've had an eclectic path and journey focused on, working with community-based organizations, nonprofits, and healthcare companies and startup companies, as well as, partnering and working with corporations. And so it really is, for me, is turning all of that 25 plus years of experience and knowledge and expertise and passion and my purpose on working with purpose-driven leaders and mission-driven companies and organizations to transform lives and businesses and communities. And so I launched Tomas Leon and Partners, LLC.
Okay.
Because nothing I do is by myself. It's always with partners.
Sure.
And I look at my clients as partners. How can I help you achieve your goal?
Yeah.
And just putting all of that 25 plus years of experience, expertise, and knowledge to work and helping others achieve, their goals and for the company or their goals as an executive.
Yeah. So speaking of partners, Aaron Baer nominated you to be on the Extraordinary podcast. So how do you know Aaron? What's that relationship like?
Well, Aaron and I go way back, and we locked arms actually with a lot of other public-private partners during the pandemic, right? We had a lot of people that were at risk and dying, a lot of diverse, underserved communities and populations. And so we just came together and said, hey, we got to do something about this. And we locked arms and created this alliance of over 100 public-private partners. And we created a Meet Me Where I Am model. We went out and delivered COVID testing, vaccinations, medical consultations, social support to thousands of people across 4 counties, including the San Carlos Apache tribe. And so that was a historical time globally in this world that we have never experienced before. And so, yeah, just honored to have been working with people like Aaron and others that really have a heart for the community and wanted to do something to keep our families and the public safe.
Yeah.
That's
right. Very cool. And you have a unique take based on your heritage, right? I mean, you're born and raised in Tucson, right? But you are a major leader in the Latin community here.
Yeah.
How would you explain that? You know, like how did that come to be, I guess?
Yeah, thank you for that. I think that's it's kind of, it ties into my power of 4 strategies.
Okay.
For success in life and in your career. And it all starts with my humble beginnings. You know, I have this, what I call the Barrio to the Boardroom story.
Okay.
That's my life story.
The Barrio to the Boardroom.
Growing up in humble beginnings in Barrio Hollywood in Tucson, Arizona.
Yeah.
And, you know, there was 8 of us in an 800 square foot house. My parents are hardworking, blue collar people trying to make ends meet. But I was very fortunate and blessed to have a family like I did, even though we struggled. But my parents did a lot to set us up for success despite our circumstances in life. And so, so I always tell people, it doesn't matter where you start in life. It's not going to determine how successful or the success you can achieve. Everybody has the opportunity to develop wisdom and achieve their full human potential. Regardless of where they start in life.
Exactly.
Sometimes where you start in life, if you have additional challenges and barriers like I did, you know, and you know, my upbringing was rooted in my Hispanic culture.
Yeah.
Right. I'm 3rd generation here in the United States, Arizonan. You know, my family roots, you know, heritage roots come from Sonora, Mexico. So that was an important part of my life, my upbringing, and who I am. So, and that leads into what fuels and drives me today to focus on the things that I do. And so, as I said, it ties into those strategy for success in life. You know, your mission, your personal mission, which helps you set goals. Your mentors in your life, networking, and taking care of your well-being. You know, to be successful in life.
Now, what would you tell somebody who doesn't know what their purpose is? Because I'm sure there was a struggle in between all of your successes where you maybe didn't know. How do you get past that?
Yeah. I mean, that's, I think a lot of people try to look past where they started and forget about where they came from,
right?
You know, and forget about the struggles. But, you know, embracing your humble beginnings and those struggles is a lot of learning that happens. So it's hard to know where you're going if you don't know where you came from and who you are.
Right.
Sure.
So it's
hard to know where you're going if you don't know where you came from.
Yeah. And who you are, you know, and that's, you know, identifying and embracing your upbringing, your family, whether there's challenges or you had an easier life. It really helps start shaping your North Star. What is your purpose in life? What is your personal mission? How does that help define the goals that you want to accomplish? So that is the foundation for what I call the strategies for success in life and in your career, and gives you solid footing.
Yeah.
And so,
and a moral ground.
Yeah, moral ground. I mean, it kind of rooted in your values. And like I said, I was very fortunate with my, you know, my amazing parents who were, you know, blue collar workers and, you know, worked hard to make ends meet, but they were very smart and wise people.
Yeah.
And they taught me values of family and love and faith and community service. You know, my dad served in World War II as a young 18-year-old. And
wow.
My mother was a nutrition educator. She was also the entrepreneur in the family too. But that moral grounding and upbringing and the values I learned from my parents and my family is what keeps me grounded and focused on being the leader that I am today.
So let me kind of flip this on its head, because I want to talk about the role of mentorship as it goes to finding your purpose. This is a true story. Yeah, Aaron is my mentor, right? And I had just had a breakthrough, and I was like, I think I've found my purpose. And the first day I was elated, and then the second day I was, for lack of a better word, depressed. And Aaron's like, "What's wrong with you?" I was like, I don't know, man. I found my life's purpose. Now, I have to live into it. Is there
do the work?
Yeah. Is there some burden that comes with finding out this is what I'm here for? Do you think, or and if there is, how does your community, your mentors, or your family help encourage you to live into it?
Yeah, I mean, there is. Sometimes when you discover what your purpose is, it is a little scary.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, how am I going to achieve that? So, and some of that purpose comes from your faith, why you were created. And it also comes from your upbringing. My parents were always about servant leadership, serving others, serving community. And so, that is a great responsibility. But once I got clarity on my purpose in life, and it evolves over time.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I had it all clear back then when I was young. There was a catalyst that sparked what I wanted to do in life, and then it evolved, and I learned and grew over a period of time. And
when did it evolve most recently?
Oh gosh, I don't think there's a period of time. I think success is not a destination; it's a journey. And your purpose in life is the same thing, right? So every day you're living out your purpose in life, and you're making hopefully wise decisions every day to achieve your full potential in life. And that leads to achieving your mission, your personal mission. For me, my personal mission is to love and serve people and make this world a better place. And so everything I do, I use my values and that personal mission as a filter to decide, is this what I need to be doing right now? Or is this who I need to be partnering with right now? Is this going to have a lasting impact in our community, in this world? And that becomes more important to me as I get older, right? I'm up there in my years, and I'm like, okay, I'm looking at what's my legacy in my life. How can I make the biggest, most lasting impact I can? Well, I'm blessed to be living on this earth.
Well, I like that you brought up legacy and the evolution of perspective. Christine and I were ghostwriters. We've written 25 books together. Christine, when you help people in their legacy mode kind of understand their shaping perspectives, what's a trend that you've seen with your clients?
Yeah, I think the most common trend that I see is people don't believe that they have a story worth being told. And so what Forbes and I kind of do, we pull that out of them, because it's really hard to see what's so extraordinary about you when you're looking in the mirror. But when you have someone who has seen it and from a different perspective, you see it in a whole new light, and you kind of have a little bit more self-love after it. And so I think that's the most common thing, is that people don't really see what's within them,
Have you noticed that too?
I've noticed that. I mean, I believe everybody has a good book in them.
Absolutely.
Everybody has
We're all
great stories.
Yeah.
My problem is I've had too many stories. I gotta focus on which one will be my first book, which is one of my goals in 2026 is to
let's get you there.
To figure out what do I want to write about, what's important, what do I want to share, what knowledge do I want to share, experience, or ideas with the world that's gonna again help make this place a better world. And so, but your mission, your purpose in life, mentoring. My parents, as I mentioned, they were very wise and smart people, and they introduced me to my first mentor when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
And so, because no one had ever gone to college in my family, in my immediate family or extended family. So I was first generation college student, and so my parents had no idea how to help me, how to guide me. But they knew someone in the family who actually is a former state senator, Dr. Frank Felix, who had gone down that path. He got his undergraduate, got his master's degree, he became state senator, and he's had a great career. he became my mentor. And he's my longest serving mentor. I just actually chatted with him via text, and we had a phone call a couple of weeks ago. You know, he has been my lifelong mentor. He meets with me and guides me on life, on family, on career. He puts the mirror up to me sometimes and gives me some critical feedback.
That is key.
You know,
so when you say that, what does that mean? Like, if someone maybe doesn't know if they've had an experience like that, when you say put the mirror up to you, what do you mean by that?
Well, I think, you know, just kind of speaking from a leadership perspective, you know, when you move into the leadership roles, sometimes you get the title and the pay and the power and the influence. And it's easy to get intoxicated on the title and the power, and you lose your way.
Sure.
That's happened to me a couple of times in my career.
Okay.
And my mentors were very critical and very key in helping get me back on track.
Okay.
Asking me tough questions, giving me tough feedback, and, you know, and holding me accountable, so that I was able to get back to leading with purpose instead of leading with ego or getting intoxicated on power and title and influence.
That's interesting. So if I would sum that up, they brought you back to human.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we all have, there's a lot of reasons why we aspire to be leaders. And you know, for me, that's why it's all about purpose-driven leadership. And my mentors have been real key in bringing me back to fulfilling my personal mission and achieving my human potential to do good in this world. You know, whether it's mentoring one-on-one with someone. I had a mentoring lunch session with a mentee yesterday, or helping lead an organization, or now as a strategic advisor and consultant, helping other leaders and organizations with what they're trying to accomplish, or whether, you know, you're giving a keynote presentation, which I do, and I love to inspire thinking and people and teams and organizations to achieve greatness. And so, yeah, I mean, it manifests itself in different ways. But yeah, the mission, the mentoring, the next strategy is networking.
Networking.
Right? So power of networking.
That's an interesting point, because I want to ask about what the role curiosity has in your life. Aaron, Christina, and I are working on a book that will come out this year called I Don't Know Shit. And the thesis of it is that certainty is the enemy. Right. And curiosity is where you find new people, you find new ways of thinking about it. I would imagine that in your consulting, you have to help a lot of people step outside of themselves and be curious. Yeah. So what is the role curiosity has in your 4 pillars as we're working through them?
Oh, man, that's great. I love that, because I've always been curious about a lot of things, and that's sparked my, you know, that's helped me be a lifelong learner. And I'll give you an example of, you know, when I joined Hugh Lytle, the founder of Equality Health, a company I joined nine years ago to, you know, he launched this incredible company, creating access to, you know, high quality, value-based, culturally competent care for the Hispanic community, other diverse populations who are on Medicaid or Medicare Advantage or AC Exchange. And so he introduced me to the startup world.
Okay.
And so during that you know, that period together with Hugh and the team and the company, I got very interested in the startup world. And so I started getting curious about hearing about angel investors. Like, what is that? You know, I was real curious about it. So I started reaching out to people that I knew in my network.
Okay.
Who introduced me to others who were good at it, who had a lot of knowledge. And I found a mentor. Yeah. And so I started learning. Got it. How can I now put my resources, personal resources, behind these innovative founders that are solving today's problems, and for me, and particularly in the health and life sciences space, and how can I be the most effective angel investor? So that launched my curiosity around that. So, you know, the angel investor, that was not even a term that came up when I was growing up in Barrio Hollywood.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, there was like, what is that?
Yeah.
So, now I'm proud. My wife, Wendy, and I are angel investors, and now a limited partner in a venture capital fund with Angeles Investor. It's been exciting. I'm starting to build a portfolio of, of innovative founders and mostly diverse founders that are solving today's problems. And it's just exciting. There's a lot of risk, but there's a lot of reward.
Yeah.
So you hedge your bets.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to get better at doing that.
So if I'm hearing your process, what I'm hearing is you get curious about something, you go to your network to find somebody who's in that space, and then you get them to be your mentor, and then you learn.
So you make them your mentor.
Yeah.
You bug them.
Let me ask you, how do you get people to be your mentor, and how do people, because you are a mentor as well, how do people get you to be a mentor? Like, what is that interaction like?
Well, I encourage everyone, regardless of what age you are, to to find a mentor and to mentor someone else. Because it serves a dual purpose.
Yeah.
Right. I love mentoring the next generation because it's very motivating and inspiring to me. And it gives me hope in this world.
Yeah.
That, there's smart, innovative young people that,
Care.
that care and that are going to take us, usher us into this next generation. And so, but then I'm still trying to serve and have an impact in this world. So my mentors help guide me on that process. And so it's important to do both. And sometimes it's as simple as asking someone, will you be my mentor?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the mentee I met with for lunch yesterday, we were having this conversation and I was talking about the strategies, the power of 4 strategies for success. And we talked about mentors. And at the end of our coffee meeting, he asked me, would you be my mentor? And I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's a great.
Well, you can tell he's at least listening.
And how do you feel? You got to feel great,
Well,
right?
It's an honor
Yeah.
to be asked. And sometimes people are so concerned. Like, it's just simple as just ask somebody. It's a great compliment. And, what's the worst they can do? Say no.
Right.
I don't have time.
Go find another one.
You go find another one. So
wasn't meant to be your mentor.
yeah, you have to take some risk. That's but yeah, just simply ask.
Yeah. I love it. Just ask.
Yeah. We were just talking the other day about how hard it can be to ask.
Yeah.
Asking can be hard, especially when it's for help.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and the third strategy for success is networking, right? So, I've been very fortunate to have developed a global network of colleagues, not just in Arizona, across the country, other countries globally. And there's a lot of tools out there that allow you to be able to connect with people all over the world. And I think, it's important to develop a network. You got your circle of close influence. That's important.
Right.
Like a handful of friends and mentors and partners. And then it's concentric circles, right? Then you have others in your network that you're really not close to, but you can partner or help each other out. So the main point about networking is not just what you can get from other people in your network. It's really important to focus on what can I do for that person in my network. Because when you need something and you need an idea, or you need support or a partner or a lead, if you are adding value to your network and those relationships, it's, people are going to be happy to be able to return that, not even a favor, just to partner with you on helping achieve that. So.
And it typically feels better to give, right?
Sure.
It does. It's good for your well-being.
Yeah. It is,
you're doing something good and, for others, you're mentoring, you're supporting your network. I mean, it fills you up. It regenerates you.
Yeah.
It's good for your well-being.
That's something Aaron always says about, particularly with gratitude.
Yeah.
It's one thing to receive gratitude, but it's another thing to give it.
Yeah.
And you have 2 different feelings depending on if you receive it or if you give it.
Yeah. Beautiful. Absolutely.
Yeah. And so then this 4th pillar.
Yeah. The 4th strategy for success is probably the most important. And it's well-being.
Well-being.
Right? So especially if you're an innovator, you're a risk taker, you're a leader, you're running a company, starting up a nonprofit or starting up a new venture, leading a big corporation, it doesn't matter what role you're playing. Or even if you're just on a team, you know, you're on a team playing a certain role, taking care of your physical, your mental, and your spiritual well-being is really critical because that helps develop resiliency. It helps develop contentment, happiness, and it prepares you to be able to work through difficult circumstances in life, because sometimes things happen to us that we have no control of, and we have to be able to work and navigate in those environments. So yeah, I mean, you know, you have to really, you know, be mindful of what you eat and your physical activity. You know,
Yeah, is it fair to say that that's the most challenging of the four?
It can be at times.
Yeah.
I think if you get into a discipline and it becomes a part of your lifestyle, then it's the easy choice.
Yeah.
Right. It's when and I've had mentors, you know, challenge me at times, you know, when I was working a certain role and I was doing a lot of dinners and lunches and I was, you know, gaining a lot of weight. And I had a mentor that actually told me, Tomas, you need to be, you know, pick better options when you go
Pick
out
better
to
options
eat,
is a really great way to say that.
you're picking up a few pounds here, and you know, you need resiliency and stamina. Right. And so, and at first I was like, wow, I was upset about that. And then, you know, the wisdom in that feedback was, you know, now I look back and like, that was pretty wise. You know,
you're glad he said it, right?
Counseling, And so
I only want people in my circle that will tell me if I'm getting fat.
Like,
we got you, Forrest. We got you.
Exactly. I need to have people that will tell that to me.
Yeah.
So, you know, what you eat, how active you are, you know, whether you're doing, you know, as simple as walking, yoga, meditation, prayer, you know, strengthening your faith, and however you identify your higher power, you know, something greater than yourself and greater than this world. You know, all of that helps develop your overall well-being, and it gives you the resiliency and the stamina and the frankly, you know, it leads to happiness and contentment. Sometimes you're going to be in situations where you circumstances that happen that you have no control over, and you have to find some contentment within those circumstances and figure out how do I work through this.
So have you noticed that there's a difference in leaders who handle wartime better than they handle peacetime? And what I mean by that is, like, there are people who are always used to going and they're very well in that, but then when things slow down, it's different. Like, do you notice that?
I noticed that, and I noticed that personally too. Right? Yeah, because you know, I've you know, the life I've lived is I'm always taking on challenges. I'm always working on trying to solve problems or start something up or turn something around or reposition something, and so it's constant forward movement. And so I find it challenging at times when I have no agenda, no schedule. It's just me, myself, and I. Finding peace in that. And I'm working on that today to try to find more peace in that, being still, mindfulness. And what I find is that when I'm able to do that, I'm able to start thinking more creatively. You find more white space there, more peace there. And so, so that's been a challenge for me, you know, trying to like,
I think for writers, it's the same way, right? Like, I need that, or my writing is very dark, or it's very not good.
My best writing comes on a deadline. You know? But I am working towards, like you said, the piece of like, how can I find the white space when there isn't, when you're not like under the gun, you know, right? Like, so what now? Tomas Leon and Partners, what now is up for you?
You know, this is a scary but exciting time. You know, as an entrepreneur, to start my, you know, strategic advising consulting business and, you know, keynote presentation services. And so, but I'm confident in that I have 25 plus years of experience, knowledge, and expertise. massive network.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I called, my company Tomas Leon and Partners.
Right.
Because I've never done anything alone in my life to achieve success or to accomplish something. It's always been locking arms in partnership with others.
Yeah.
I consider my clients as partners. I want to help them achieve their goal.
Yeah.
And whether developing a growth strategy or a fundraising strategy or strategic planning or building their brand and enhancing their brand reputation in the community or launching a big major initiative. So that excites me to be able to kind of work with strategic clients who I consider partners on, the one thing I do have to say is I do look for, and I'd like to partner with mission-driven, purpose-driven leaders and mission-driven organizations.
Okay.
That's important to me.
Yeah. Well, it's one of your 4 pillars, right?
Yeah. So it's important that I'm working and partnering with those leaders and organizations that are going to achieve, something for their company, their employees, or for the community. And so it's an exciting time. I'm looking forward to it.
Are those is the launch or the new strategy, are those the things that people will think, oh, I got to call Tomas, or what are you known for to help these leaders with?
Yeah, because I've had such a diverse, eclectic path and different types of roles, the segments I'm focused on is, those startup and founders that are trying to get their companies off the ground.
Yeah.
Or, those corporations that are trying to develop a philanthropic strategy, a corporate philanthropy strategy.
Okay.
Or nonprofits that are, trying to, it's a difficult time for nonprofits right now in this economic environment. How do you reposition, turn around, and develop sustainable growth strategies? And in the healthcare space, I spent a lot of time in. So any healthcare related organizations that need some fresh thinking, new innovation, new thoughts, or help developing a business or growth strategy, or helping figure out how do we enhance our brand or build our brand and create trust, credibility, and loyalty in the community or among their customer base. And so yeah, I mean, those are areas, and because I have a lot of partners that I work with where I need expertise or I need a partner to work with me on a project, I pull in people in my network to help me deliver on that promise to that client.
Got it. So we ask everybody this question that comes on The Extraordinary Show. If you had to give a piece of advice to our listeners today on one thing they could do to start being extraordinary or become more extraordinary, what would it be?
Well, this is where I'm going to look to the audience here, right here. And, what I have to say is, in order for you to know where you're going, you have to know who you are and where you came from. And I would say start there. Start with your purpose in life, your personal mission. Really embrace your upbringing, your humble beginnings.
Yeah.
And that starts shaping your North Star, and that becomes your fuel for success. That becomes your motivation. That becomes your inspiration.
Yeah.
That's a great place to start. All the other things, the mentoring, the networking, the well-being, that's a process. But if you don't have a real strong personal mission statement and a purpose statement, and then it's going to be real challenging to figure out, where do I go? What do I do? What am I gonna work on?
Yeah.
So that would be my advice.
Well, we have so much more to cover. We'll have to have you back. The purpose-driven man himself, Tomas Leon. You can read more about him at joinextraordinary.com, joinextraordinary.com. Tomas, I'm really excited to have you back, but also to hear who you're going to nominate to join Extraordinary.
Yeah.
Thank you for being a member of our Extraordinary community. As always, I'm Forbes Shannon, and with me,
Christine Butler.
And we will see you guys next time.
Thanks, guys.